This is a self-replicating stream. The stream is going to turn into gray goo. And we'll be lucky if that's the only color goo that gets involved. I'm an idiot. I am dumb. Hold it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You was about to get on social media, weren't you? You was about to get on that bird app, weren't you? How much content did you make today? You ask yourself that question. It's like, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. If you got time to doom scroll, you got time to do literally anything the hell else. And I was part of the big indie VTuber boom of 2020. If I could do it again, I'd probably start earlier as a ping tuber. See, I was literally starting from square one. I didn't even know a model artist was a thing. See, there was a sort of subculture of face rig enthusiasts who had tutorials on how to cut your own live 2D model from TV screenshots. Yeah, I used some of these handy how-tos to cut my first gen model from my design sheet. It took a very long time and a lot of wow, my god, it's the beginning of another week, and what a week it has been already. I've been up to my ass in technical problems. I hope I finally achieved true level for the first time in waking memory. First off, we switched ISPs and we have some kind of weird new phone. So I tried to streamline our router modem situation a bit. Succeeded greatly, but destroyed the telephone service. So I spent an inordinate amount of time this weekend trying to fix whatever the hell I did. Turns out for some reason you can't run a telephone through an access point, through a power line, up a flight of stairs, into another access point, then into a router, and then to a MoCo adapter, back through the coax cables to another access point, or whatever it's called when you have like fiber internet. Not the modem, but like the thing that turns the light back into electricity or sound or whatever the hell it turns into. You know, whatever a MoCA signal is exactly. I get the basics. I got the long or the short of it. I got the Cliff Notes version of it, but I don't, you know, needless to say, I don't actually understand what I'm doing. Needless to say. So I won't bother saying it again. But the point was, it took quite a while to reverse engineer that whole situation. But now I think I got it. I think everything's working and shouldn't catch on fire. But then I got, oh my god, you know what? Okay, so now I fucked with my computer. I fucked with it a bunch. I moved some wires around innocently enough. I just unplugged some video stuff, plugged it back in. Now Windows isn't doing the helpful thing where if I turn off the bottom monitor, that the taskbar will switch up to the top monitor and just switch that to my main monitor. It used to do it. I swear to God, this was a feature. It did it for years and years, and now it stopped doing it. So basically, it's a fate worse than death. I'm relegated to having to physically move my mouse between monitors to click on things. And like, you know what I mean? I know the phrase first world problems gets tossed around an awful lot, but goddamn, it's inconvenient. When you get used to a convenience and then it goes away unexpectedly and you have no idea, when it dawns on you that you had no clue upon which that convenience was predicated in the first place, well, everything starts to fall apart. Your entire sense of the world falls into chaos. You know, everything starts, the walls close in on you. Shit starts going wrong. You start seeing things, crazy things. Anyway, but then like, oh my, they rolled out a BIOS update and a new NVIDIA thing, new firmware all at the same freaking time. And now Opera's acting weird. I cannot believe I continue to have weird tech problems trying to get a freaking browser game to work today. My God, bros. But it's okay. It's okay. It's just nonstop trials and tribulations. You know what I mean? And I ain't talking Phoenix, right? No, maybe someday. Maybe someday. It's like, yeah. So I'm taking a nice short leisurely approach because I can't stay up too late. I can't. Okay, for now I just can't. Eventually I'll reclaim the late night. I'll reclaim the night that is my domain. However, for now I'm afraid I must take a more perfunctory approach. So we'll just, you know, we'll take a nice casual approach to having a frank exchange of ideas, quote unquote, if you catch my drift. Wink, wink. And hey, we got the Echo the Dolphin browser-based minigame where you go around collecting garbage. Well, that's kind of like, that's kind of a metaphor for the state of the gaming industry at large right now, isn't it, when you think about it? So we're contributing, not to the greater good, but to sort of a hypothetical good, an imaginary greater good. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Oh, hey, you know, it's a great way to summarize it. All for the imaginary greater good. Would that we could actually remove garbage from the actual living sea, but I mean, you know, I guess they're gathering into a trio of islands dotting the Pacific Ocean. There's like 3 big ones. There's like a whole, there's like a devil's triangle of some kind. I think that's some kind of a sex move, but what I'm talking about is the triangle in the ocean, not the Bermuda one, the other much larger one, and not the Polynesian one. This is more of a petroleum triangle. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn geometry, straight up trigonometry. I never studied that shit. I never understood it. Missed me with that calculus and all that, you know? Point is, there's a reason I'm attempting to play video games on the internet for a living, and why my only other marketable skill set seems to involve what they call the autistic hyperboreal, all them wires and protocols and whatnot. Ah, God, but I'm putting my newfound profession to work now, boy. God, it's like everything's fighting me. I guess it's lucky timing then when you think about it. It's like the world started caving in on me just as I began to have the skills with which to actually contend with it in a meaningful way. So, I mean, I guess if you look at it that way, if it happened to me a year ago, I would have been helpless. I would have been helpless. I just wouldn't have had internet for a week. Oh, my God. I'd have to call someone in. You'd have to start ripping wires out of the walls and shit. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that noise. So first of all, I didn't know that fiber cables were already up everywhere. I thought those were like, aren't they delicate and shit? Aren't they made out of glass? Can they just dangle them from power lines like everything else, like the phone cables and everything? So fiber's just everywhere now, and we could hook it up at any time, and we just did. How does like cable internet even compete? How does cable TV compete? How does anybody put up with this shit? When there's like hyper fast laser beam based telecommunication technology coast to coast now, apparently. I thought this was an ongoing thing. I guess I'm just behind the times. Hey, look, man, I'm kind of like Mark Twain with his precious telegraph, you know, a Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's court and shit, you know, just going back and teaching the knights about telegraphy and all that, and electricity. Someone gets up in that bitch and starts, you know, all the knights get piled up on the hillside and just die one after the other, like in an endless procession, you know, because they don't know what's going on. They don't know. They're not used to that kind of negativity. Hello, last carnival. I don't know what you heard, but it was a perfectly innocuous conversation. Let me assure you, we were just weird. I was just going over my week. Just talking about, you know, what's on my mind. Yeah, just passes through my subconscious here or there. You know, it's just like a record drop. In fact, it's already purged from short-term memory, so I couldn't even possibly retrace it and explain the context if I wanted to, which I don't. But the point is, I'm pleased as punch because I got a much more reliable, higher grade internet connection is the point. Oh, a Connecticut Yankee King Arthur's court. Well, you know, sorry, that's basically true. That could be my new lore. Rewards for lore. You know, I was just saying that I feel like when the homeboy was back in medieval times laying cable throughout the medieval kingdom and trying to teach knights and shit about telecoms, which is what happens in the book. But that's just been me gradually unfucking my entire infrastructure, which, you know what, worked out in the long run, because now I have a much higher speed internet, probably more reliable and whatnot, and I have like my own private branch circuit. I have my own like little subLAN. It took numerous forms of technology and an entire weekend of trial and error. I did stare into the font of madness. I did stare into the void. It was a deep, dark, Vantablack pit. I did see a dark and distorted reflection of myself staring back, much as though I were staring into the tenebrous confines of a deep, hot cup of joe. You know what I'm saying? I like my women like my coffee. When I look into it, a dark and distorted reflection of myself stares back, wall-eyed and terrified, and unable to voice its own concerns. Zero agency. You understand what I'm saying? My point is here. That is to say, we got fiber, and I'm pleased. And I've been I've been setting up, I've been learning the ropes with all these fancy little wall hacks. I can at least say I got a mocha adapter, and it's just the bee's knees, bro. If you got fucky internet, like if you have a hard time on Wi-Fi, I can now say from firsthand experience, I can heartily endorse the mocha adapter. It is a nice modern alternative to the power line adapter, which I used to swear by, but it's kind of outmoded. You can just duplicate the signal and get it onto any cable outlet that happens to be available. If you have one in your room, you can just, it's like getting your own separate sub modem. It's great. It works perfectly. You get that wired connection anywhere you want. And now my streaming, my dreaming, my desultory gaming, my ludicrous nonsense, all of it is perfect and pure, and it's protected with the ring. I'm married to it. I'm proposing to the shit. That's how good it is. You know, you just yeah, it's like a little, it's simple. Well, okay, I think it should be cheap. I bought the quote unquote starter kit, which was like over $100, but it came with 2 adapters and a whole bunch of splitters and shit, which in the end, I didn't need 1/10 of that stuff. So as much as I thought I did my research, I might have stood to do a bit more, because I really only needed 1 adapter. I got 1 simple adapter hooked up, and I gotta say though, I was shocked. I of all the things I expected to give me shit, that was the main one. I thought I'll plug this in and destroy my entire internet. I'm gonna have to trial and error this stuff all afternoon. I'm gonna have to figure out how it works. But much to my freaking surprise, no, I just plugged it in. Cable on one side, Ethernet on the other, plug it right in, worked. Didn't even have to like install anything or fuck with it. It just worked, bro. I was actually shocked. I had multiple heart attacks and suffered priapism. I woke up on the ground. They say it took 3 men to restrain me. Such was my incapacity to accommodate this information into my brain. Dude, I am pleased. I'm pleased as punch. I've never gone out on a limb with some cockamamie internet crap that I heard about and installed it and had it just actually work completely the way I wanted, with like 0 fight or downside. Like power line adapters were nice back in the day, but they had this one nasty little side effect where they could cause some kind of weird loop in your circuitry and just fuck everything up. I've known them to make it impossible to get on the television or the Wi-Fi for, as long as they're plugged in, and it takes a while to narrow it down. It's a bit of a secret, problem. It's just stuff like that can happen. It's like, we're already doing things that are basically impossible, right? When you think about it, we're trying to corral electrons and make them dance to our tune and do exactly just as we want. And just, and they turn into pictures and sounds and anime girls at our demand. Like in a way, we are like gods in a way, but, I wonder if the sum totality of existence gives God as much shit as the internet gives us. You know what I'm saying? In that case, I can understand a little bit of smiting. I can see how it goes that way. In any case, wait a minute. We're missing the main operation here. You know what I'm saying? There's something we need to do. There's something I wanted to show you something. Let me show you something that's going on with me these days. Oh my God! Oh my Jesus! That was louder than I thought it would be. Sorry about the whale call jump scare. And I don't even have any Shy Lily fan art to show for it. God. I thought that was I was gonna be ever smote a piece of technology. Oh yeah. Especially when I was a child. I won't lie. Child OkAs was a bit feral. I mean this is the thing. I might have walloped a game controller or 2 in my day. Okay, the game itself is not yet out. This is the web browser, right, at ecco But they have this fun little mini game, which does serve as a charming little preview of the like the engine that they're going with. Wait, what's this now? Here, I'm gonna try something. Where am I? What's happening to my life? Okay. It usually loads just fine. Maybe there's too many people playing. It worked when I tested it. This page is slowing down fucking Firefox. Yeah, let's stop it. Let's just reload from the beginning. Let's give it another chance. It's just like the breakout clone of the Sonic 06 website. Dude, It's so fun. It's so fun that these things can exist now. They actually had the entire Echo 1 in the browser before. And you'll note that it's actually, look at this, look at the copyright scroll at the bottom. Sega. This isn't like this isn't crowdfunded, boys. This is legit. This is the realest deal. Oh, okay. Looks like it might actually load this time. Come on, Flash or Shockwave, whatever the hell this is. You can do it. Man, this takes me back. This is like trying to load up a game on Newgrounds or something. This is like when you load the little, this is like when you'd load the Flash window game and you had to sit there and wait for it to load until the play button came up. Well, in any case, it's one of the reasons we're not banking. It's basically, that's why I figured it's basically a Zatsu. It's more or less technically a Zatsu stream, right? Because you know, I've learned my lesson. Everything's gonna fight me. Everything's going to, oh my god, it's actually happening. It's actually happening. Nice. I'm gonna scoot the chat way over here on the side. I don't know why it's not flush. I don't know why it's not so beautifully flush with our project. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Now, before Echo drowns, so I guess we get a nice little kind of, it's a clever way to work in like sort of a beta, right? We know from betas around here. What am I saying? Well, you know, we're all beta cucks, right? At least we are when eBay Shoujo's on the scene. I just want to, we got a chat source and a chat source too. Okay, I want to make sure both my chats are in here. I don't know. I think it's been misbehaving. Let me see. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I have too many scenes nested and it's confusing me. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, here we go. I got to make sure I put in both chats. I'm sorry. I probably should have done this at some point in my earlier life, right? I'm a silly bastard. Oh, well, in any case, so here's the mini game. Basically, the idea behind it is there's trash in the water. Oh shit. And you got to fetch it and clean it and bring it back to these special mysterious portals. Because as you can see, although it is ambient and lovely, and I have played it at times, it does get overwhelmed here and there. But you know, we get like a nice little glimpse at the art style and the graphics that they're going with. I guess they'll probably end up combining, you know. I mean, on the one hand, there's no topping the pixel art of Tides of Time. That shit is unparalleled. I'll try reloading it again. Here, I'm just gonna type it in manual style. Okay, it's low. 5th time's the charm. Don't worry, everybody. Okay, we'll give it a shot. Maybe there's just a ton of people playing. Maybe it's like the top gamer metrics on Steam right now. Maybe it's far exceeding Concord. You know what I'm saying? In any case, though, you know, you got the white noise, you got the whale calls, you got the mysterious underwater vibe, even when the game's not loading. That's pretty clever. You got kind of like an escape hatch. Yeah. So purportedly, the actual the secret password that you got at the end of Tides of Time is actually gonna have a functionality in the 3rd part. And so the deal is, so apparently, from what I'm getting, and the information's coming out kind of in a staggered manner, but the Echo Mania, we'll call it, whatever they end up calling it, this Echo collection, is going to have every version of all the 2D games. You'll be able to swap between the Genesis originals, the 8-bit Game Gear versions. They'll have Sonic CD, Sega CD. Oh God, this poor website. It's just handling so much. This game, it literally crashed Opera. Opera chugged and died. Here, I'll put it out of its misery for a second. Jeez. Just reload it, man. Just reload. Just stop. Just stop. It's killing you. It's killing you. We can't have this. The poor guy. Oh no, the whole thing's dead. Oh, it's super dead. It couldn't be deader. It couldn't be deader. Here. We'll start all the way from the stretch. Yeah. There was a Sonic 06 like website called, like the entire game was playable in a browser or something. I know there was Project 06. Okay, as you can hear, at least the main page works. I don't know what this ominous clock in the corner is. It seems 1866 hours, 7 minutes and 49 seconds till the release. How long is 1800 hours? Is that like 3 weeks or something? It's got to be longer than that. Maybe until the next update on the website. I don't know. But let's see if we can get into the mini game one more time. If not, we can just play around on the music player. Get a copyright strike. Now, but the Sonic Rush Adventure website had a playable version of the jet skis section. Oh, that's kind of fun. See, you know, it's fun that they can do stuff like that. It's fit pieces of the game in the website. It's kind of like when they make an episode of a show available on YouTube for free, you know? The jet ski sections, though, against like Captain Johnny or whatever. I forgot that. Man, I forgot Sonic Rush Adventure existed. I know Marine the Raccoon is in there. The only time, I think that's the first and only time a character was introduced into the Sonic canon, only to never ever come back. Even Gamma comes back once in a while somehow by some, well, I kind of count Omega as Gamma coming back. Clearly they wanted to find a use for the E series and they just kind of repurposed them, right? And it also furthers the deeply baffling quasi-canon of Blaze the Cat being simultaneously from an evil dystopian apocalyptic future, but also being like the princess of koalas in some kind of Antipodean Australia parallel universe. Which is funny because generally Sonic's universe has already implicitly taken place in kind of a vaguely Australian setting, right? Like the whole thing is you know, echidnas are from Australia. I always thought Rouge was supposed to be an Australian ghost bat. That would have made sense. But Sonic was canonically from Christmas Island, which is an Australian territory. And there's just sort of a beachy, you know, Southern Hemisphere kind of vibe to the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, except for the part where they're flying around in the air and there's snowy mountains. That seems, but that's a little New Zealand-y. You know, oh my god, it actually loaded. See, guys, we just had to be very patient. All right, ooh, okay, hold on, let's focus here. Okay, it's more or less working, astonishingly. So here you go. You got an idea of what this shit's gonna look like. Okay, sometimes it breaks, that's fine. Have any other games done something like that? There was like, I know, I was thinking there was something else in Sonic, but I was thinking of the VMU mini games. The Chow Garden was just like a VMU thing. You had to have the game for that. But there was, wait, should Sonic be Australian? Yeah, I think so. If he's technically from, yeah, I mean the original canon, and don't quote me on where I read this, but I think like the original Japanese like Mega Drive manuals specifically say that he was born on Christmas Island. Not to be conflated with Easter Island, but he's from a literal Australian territory. You know what? Well, I can maybe Robotnik is from America, right? That makes sense. I think, you know, the Robotnik clan seems to have worked for the Sonic Universe version of San Francisco, right? So that's like in Sonic America. Sonic American sounds like a very specific ethnicity. I can imagine, you know what though? I do like the idea of Sonic and his friends all having voices like in the Lex show. What is it called? You know what I mean? The like the guy, the Australian man who lives next door to a Sasquatch. Don't pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about. It's one of the greatest works of internet art that I've ever witnessed. It's you know, the guy has everyday frustrations, and his neighbor, affectionately known as Sassy, is always dosing him with drugs, and his little catchphrase is like, "What you say to me?" You know, there's a recurring gag, right? Get this, like there's like a little recurring gag in the show where, you know, he offers his neighbor a sandwich or a drink or something like that. takes a little sip. It's like, it's good. And then it turns out to be laced powerfully with potent, you know, drugs, neurotoxins and the like, and, you know, something. But that you know, that's like a sitcom formula. You know, you have like the wacky neighbor that comes over and instigates adventures due to their different worldview. He's kind of, you know, kind of like the Kramer, right? You got a Kramer, you got kind of the Steve Urkel, you know what I mean? Like that kind of archetype. Is there a name for that archetype? Is it an archetype? Like, you know, I'm thinking just in terms of like, well, I guess the antagonist, in a sense, a non-villainous antagonist. Oh Lord, this poor website is doing its very best, boys, but we're just killing its ass. But you see the idea. You swim around as the fish, and you grab the garbage and you bring it to the dimensional portals. This won't be the actual game, presumably, but we're seeing what could be. I like that it's actually tile art. You can kind of see it's like a higher res version of the original. You can see those little squares on the cliff where the texture gets repeated. I don't know, man. Something about that is charming. I think it's a nice edge thing to kind of balance between the practicality of embracing modern you know, mechanics, but also of wanting to preserve like the kind of janky old style. Some of it's just very emergent. Some of it just looks special. It's irreplicable, you know? I gotta say, I love the cutaway water. It's such a fun idea. That's not really how it looks in other underwater games, like the perspective shift. It actually, when I was a kid, speaking of child OkAs, although he was a feral little monster and did wallop some controllers and probably did lasting damage to game systems in the throes of, you know, retro game rage, I was inspired to make a diorama of the ocean based on the perspective of these games once. And I had like some plastic, you know, stretched across the top to simulate the layer of water. And I had some of those ubiquitous like undersea toys that you get from aquariums, you know, the little rubber and plastic guys. An octopus here, you know, a pinniped there. And I got a nice little, it looked unusually high grade for a child's project, I'll say. You know what I mean? It was fun. It was fun. It was fun how mind rot video games inspired something productive. I don't think I'm currently playing as Echo. I think we would see the marks on the head. I don't think I can sing, but let's see. Wait, hold on. Which one does the charge? There it is. I figured it out. I couldn't begin to tell you what the little runes at the top mean. The two brackets and the two like lawn darts, whatever they are. I love that they're evidently bringing back some truly arcane shit. Ooh, I like how it controls, I gotta say. On a thumbstick, ooh, that feels nice. Much more kind of much more fluid than and it works a little differently when you're going faster. Very fluid. Yeah, I hope it's just like this. The minimal UX, just like the two health bars with the arcane squares, and maybe stuff like that up in the corner. I like how it's not just like obvious numbers. I kind of like that. I have no idea what the fuck it means right now, but you know, I'm down. Where's the trash? Where's more? It's got to load more. Then again, it's a miracle that it hasn't crashed on us for the 80th time. So Firefox is probably taking up 7,000 gigabytes of memory, but that's okay. That's okay. This is the beast computer. We're playing on the gaming computer for a reason, boys. There's a reason I invested. Before I even knew that RAM was going to be completely co-opted by AI and tech bros to do nonsense. Before I realized RAM was going to end up costing $7 trillion, I just went for broke. I got the 64 gigs of DDR5. So it should narrowly be enough for this tiny, cute browser game. Well, even if no more goals spawn and no more levels move, we can just have fun. We can just swim around and enjoy the sights. I swear sonar worked at one point in this game, but then again, maybe it's just a simple matter of the game is loading anymore. That's fine. We're here for it, right? There was what the hell was I just talking about? I distracted myself by discussing video game. Well, in any event, there was I legitimately just outsmarted myself. Now I'm going to die. I'm actually moribund. Oh, is there a tremendous report just now? What could that have been? Hope it wasn't something expensive. But yeah, I like, it seems to be in good hands. They seem to know what they're doing. They're approaching this design. Ooh, look at that. There's like, oh, you can twist them out. That's nice, right? See, this is kind of it, right? This is what you call a retro revival partial upgrade, you know? I'm glad that it doesn't, it's kind of like more in the, yeah, and this is just like an early prototype. This is just what they're showing off to begin with. So I think I think it's in good hands. Dog, I'm so happy this is happening. I was really like legitimately, man, no one's getting any younger. I hope they greenlight this thing before like the creators are dead or something, you know, before it's lost to the tides of time forever. Complete this thing, complete it. The damn trilogy, man. I've been waiting for years, decades. I gotta know what the secret password does. I wonder if Cassandra will make her appearance in this game too. I wonder if they'll be humans. Wouldn't that be wild? I have no idea. We'll see Atlanteans. But yeah, man, I like that they're sticking to the original design process. Yeah, I hope it boosts the Echo video. I say that does still get views. Man, maybe I should do a follow-up about Tides of Time first in preparation, eh? But I think more people have actually finished Tides of Time. On the other hand, timely. Dude, I've been working on a video though. Funnily enough, it was the video I came up with for the 5-year OkAs anniversary, which was back in January. Yes, if we're counting, if we're keeping track, if we're getting all parsnippity about details and linear time and causality and all that. So it's a bit late, yes. But also the scope of the topic keeps changing. Originally, I was just going to talk about like, here's my cute little 5 years. What have I done? Here's some stuff. Haha. But then I kept thinking, like, things kept happening, right? And I'm thinking like, oh yeah, also, you know, how does my little VTuber journey fit into the context of this crazy nascent industry? Look at all the stuff that's happened. What do I think about it? What do I think about like my goals? Male VTubing specifically, you know? Especially, and then they announced, that was before they announced the thing with Hollow Stars. So now I feel like it's even more pertinent. So now I'm like, oh my God, I got scope creep. 360 no scope creep. I'm the scope creep. So basically I've just been pulling an OkAs and rewriting chunks of it and re-recording chunks of it. Now my video file takes up 7,000 gigabytes. And somewhere in the world, Yam Albot is just shaking her head in disgust and despair. Oh, the bubbles are flying into the air, but that's okay. It's a very prototypey kind of thing to happen. Dude, I hope sometime this year, I suspect they're announcing the new Macintoshes, and I understand that because they have really good AI features, that the tech bros have been snapping them up like friggin' Pokemon cards. I hope not. I hope if they announce a new like M5 wave of machines this year that I can actually get one. I want a Mac Mini, dude, especially now that I have the money for one. I'll handily be able to afford one by summertime. And I want to be able to take advantage of the AI so that I can subtitle videos automatically. I got a plug-in, but it won't work on an x86 chip. Let me see. I'm gonna hazard one more reload. I'm gonna hazard one more just to see if we can get the mini game up and running a little nicer. Eh? Maybe it'll happen. But yeah, I haven't finished Tides of Time. It's okay. There's actually multiple viable ways to finish it. It's an ambitious game for what it is. I have a lot to say about it. I could make a video. Why the hell not? Yeah, let's make a video about the Tides of Time. That sounds fun. In preparation. Hopefully I can get it done before Echo 4 comes out. Because my turnaround has been shit lately. But in fairness, there's been a lot of transitions. There's been a lot of, you know, I was finishing up studies. I was working several jobs, and now I'm down to working just the one job, but it is tough learning all the skills on the new job. I'm on basic. I'm done with my basic training though. Moving on to the next topics, making progress, making poggers. Be sure to check your subs for accuracy, even if you use a reliable automated system to make them. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. I've seen it happen though. They work pretty well. It's just like little details, especially the weird crap I say. Of course, I'm gonna have to double check it, but just getting all the slapdick yeomanly work out of the way and having it just like formatted for me would be nice. That's the main thing I look forward to with AI. Some of the plugins actually work surprisingly well, but you got to have an ARM chip for most of that stuff to even look in your direction. If you don't pull water with the ARM architecture, it don't got time for you. You nobody in this town, you know? Oh, there we go. Yeah, me the Virgin x86 user versus the Chad ARM guy. I'm dating a deaf person and I want to show them your videos. Oh, most of my shorts definitely get subs, my subberinos. Because that's the TikTok algo. But oh, that's a good idea. I should have the subs activated on my videos as well. Oh, yeah. Oh Lord. But yeah, that'll be nice. And my laptop is getting older by the minute. Not just we all are, but it served me so well for years and years. I produced 100% of my videos using it, and the poor old gal, it's just getting tougher and tougher. You know what I mean? It's just keeping up. I can hear those fans kicking faster and faster when you start rendering 8,000 things at once. Look, I got a nice workflow though, right? I can tab over. I got Final Cut. I can switch to the other workspace. I got a terminal window open, so I can use Bash to use YTDLP to download, whatever video clips I need. It works like a breeze. Then I got Handbrake open, transcoding them into the things that, one of the 3 things that Macintosh will actually listen to without making weird little audio skips and shit, you know? Sometimes I wish I could just join the mainstream and edit with DaVinci Resolve, but I mean, I don't want to learn a whole new editing. You know what I mean? I'm sure DaVinci Resolve is a-okay. I've seen it, but it's just learning a new editor it's like starting over in your entire life. It's like having to be a child again. You know what I mean? That gesture stuff on the MacBook touchpad is such a godsend. It is. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I can't do it any other way now. The 3 fingers swipe to get to the other workspace. I can't live without it now. Even when I'm on Linux and I have to like do a keystroke, I feel like to get to the other desktop, I feel like a goddamn caveman. You know what I mean? I feel like what's that movie, Castaway, when he makes fire? Except it's like the opposite. I'm like, fuck this. Give me the lighter. Give me the grill lighter. The grill lighter's better. I wish I had a grill lighter. It's like I started off making fire and then I found the grill lighter. I'm like, oh bitch, yeah, please give me the lighter. I'm plenty fulfilled. Don't worry. Give me the light. Give me the lighter. Give me the fucking lighter. Give me the matches. Give me the matches. There's no reason to clip this out of context. I don't see what other context there is for it. But oh yeah, being able to zoom in on the timeline with the finger gestures on the touchpad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I always edited on a laptop, so I'm just used to that. But now I got it hooked up to a monitor, like a big ass monitor, and I have the trackpad on there too, so it translates perfectly. Castaway and the K and Hatchet scared the hell out of me as a kid. I don't know what the K and Hatchet is. I remember the Hatchet or whatever. Is that the one where the kid who survives a plane crash on like a lake in the middle of nowhere, and there's like the corpse of the pilot is in the plane and he's too scared to go back into the plane for a long time until driven by urgent need? I know intuitively I don't have that's the right one. Damn, I guess we are both scarred by the same thing, huh? Scar brothers. Wow, let's just enjoy our mutual emotional scarring then. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's funny. It's like it's pulling a psychology. Dude, that bottle is so fucking petroleum based. It's floating in the goddamn air. We got to get it out of here. It's got the last of the helium. We got to rescue it. All right, it's loading much smoother now. Yeah, so this kind of reminds me of the the reboot of Toe Jam and Earl too, right? Well, for obvious reasons. But honestly, this is like Toe Jam and Earl had a much more difficult line to tread because, you know, the OG Toe Jam, as fun of a game as it is, it's old as hell. Like, it's legitimately kind of old fashioned. And I don't think people would stand for it, right? I don't think people would play it. So they had to update it in some ways and incorporate more features. And it was such a tightrope of, okay, how do we adhere to the spirit of the original while also making it remotely acceptable to modern audiences? All the trash disappeared, so I think the world died again. This though, I think Echo is in a much stronger position, because really now the gloves are off. I think the original formula works way better without the constraints of old-timey technology. They made it work surprisingly well on old-timey technology, but there were still just like, you know, the little bits of jank really just kind of did, you know, they didn't enhance the experience. Now, oh buddy, now they can just, they can work, like all the restraints are off, and it's none of the jank was like charming. The jank was fuck, and now they're jankless. It'll be like an enhanced, you know, Echo Unleashed basically. It's like Sonic Unleashed, except different entirely. You know what I mean? It's just like that, except it's a completely different thing, and unlike it in every possible way. If you see what I mean, you know what I mean? But yeah. And it's like, I think it'll be a nice smooth segue. I'm sure the front swimming like 3D sections will be there. And I'm looking forward to puzzles that actually make sense. The only like real legitimate lasting problem with Echo that kills people who try to play it now is that so many of the things you need to figure out just do not, like the clues, the infamous Crystal Springs puzzle, which is a neat puzzle once you understand it, but your only clue is do it. And then there's that fight against the Astrite in ancient times, and you know, how the hell are you supposed to figure out that you're supposed to knock out 4 balls of the same color? That's wild, you know. Maybe with like more pronounced, you know, visual cues for stuff like that, you know. I look forward to seeing not only how the new game works, but how they reinterpret stuff from the old games. The single thing I'm the most excited about that they talked about in the Discord call, I mentioned that, right? Like the devs had a Discord like Q&A session, like an AMA. I actually got to talk to them a bit. And we talked about the ancient, like there's multiple people in there that were big on fossils. There were multiple people into fossils in there, as you would guess. And we were all very pleased to hear that one thing that they're hoping to do with the ancient times is fit in more creatures, and more like period accurate creatures that, you know, we're talking plesiosaurs, you know what I'm saying? I was so, I felt so seen and heard when they directly acknowledged that the Dunkleosteus is from a completely wrong era. As cool of a sea monster as it is, you know, especially Echo is that game company game on Sega Genesis. It's spiritually, Echo is just like prog rock album cover art on Sega Genesis, you know. Flower, yeah, right. It actually, yeah, flower. And you know what other game kind of reminds me of Echo in a weird way is Nier. You know, hole up, let me cook, because it's in this sort of not gross apocalypse, right? Like humanity's basically gone. But it's like a pretty kind of like nature reclaiming the world sort of apocalypse, and there's sort of like an unseen alien menace, especially in Automata, of course, right? And you got kind of this like raison d'etre kind of self-discovery theme thing, right? Instead of the sea mammals not understanding their place in the natural order because they have to breathe air while being watermen. You know, it's like you got like cyborgs and gestalts and all that who were like, yo man, what the fuck's going on? Which I suppose is really just a shorthand for philosophy in general, right? At the end of the day, the field of philosophy can be summed up as the one that asks, hey man, what the fuck is going on? I guess science is kind of like that too. History is more straightforward. That's just, hey man, what the fuck happened? You know, that's got more there's less predicate, you know, variables. I'm trying to wrestle the website a little bit, just a little bit. No, don't stop it. I know it's slowing down Firefox. I know it hurts. I know it hurts you, darling, but we gotta suffer. We gotta suffer for this. Flower is a very echoey game though, for sure. Actually, what's that other game that they made? Colibri. Yeah, they also made Colibri. I did make a point of asking if the Metasphere makes a return. Is there any chance Echo could turn into a hummingbird? That'd be fun. That'd be a fun little Easter egg. That'd be a fun little, you know. It would be. I understand why it won't happen. It would be neat if someday they started making 32x games available on some modern, you know, storefront. At least Knuckles Chaotix and Colibri. I mean, I get you can emulate them and all that, but but they already can emulate them, so why can't they publish them someplace? How hard is it to like include the emulator software with a purchased game? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe there's legal things, but I mean, if I buy an emulator from Sega with the ROMs included, isn't that fine? Also, I do acknowledge the fact that a given 32x game would sell 18 copies, so like it objectively isn't worth it to them. I'm just saying, it would be neat. Considering the obscure stuff that came out on the Wii Shop channel back in the day, they had TurboGrafx X16, they had Japanese only N64 games like Sin and Punishment. I'm just saying, like, is there not a place in this world to resurrect our erstwhile 32x library of exactly 2 games that I'm interested in playing? If you connect if you elucidate the connection between Echo, Another World, Journey, and Nier, you're gonna win a Nobel Gaming Prize in media literacy. I like the sound of that. Whoa, yeah, not bad. Speak of the angel. How was your vacation? How was your time off? Hope you cooled off your fevered brain. Hope you were able to get some reprieve from all of the hard work. It's sort of Echo. We're trying to play the browser game. They're previewing. We're getting a little sample of the new sequel. They put a prototype kind of mini game where you clean up garbage from the ocean, but it's struggle media tonight. It's struggle media. So it's really just a Zatsu. When you think about it, it's just a Zatsu. Stop warning me. I know it's slowing down Firefox. I know. I see it. I see the RAM going up. I hear the fan spinning. I know it's happening. Please try. I don't know how much of this is because their website is being overworked and how much of it is simply like I also updated all my GPU drivers and my BIOS and my firmware all like in the last 24 hours. Look, man, they said there's new microcode. That's usually really important. And I have a 13900K, right? Those Intel chips had problems. I figure it's important to keep them updated before they set themselves ablaze. You don't want my computer to set on fire, do you? I mean, as funny as that might be, the hot fire would put a cold damper on my gaming ambition, on my streaming ambition. Anyway, if they announce a new M5 Mac, I'm totally getting that. But if they don't, I'll get a framework laptop. That'll be like a game system. I'll just put Linux on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Vacation was good. I stared at trees and thought up a new video essay. That's good. That's a good way to do it, honestly. You just gotta like get the brain away. The only downside about my new job is that it's engaging, and my old brand of mindless drudgeon work did give me enough dissociative episodes that I could just kind of dream up new ideas for videos. So now I have to adjust. All right, man. We're still trying. This website, I swear this game has worked at least thrice tonight. You saw it last carnival? Tell her. Speak to the world. I love unengaging work. That's true. Well, I mean, I like it, except for all the bad things, like the fact that I don't have enough money ever, and it always hurts body part. I have aching body parts perpetually, and also I usually smell terrible by the end of it. Those such environments are usually places with potent odors that get permanently absorbed into your garments. But other than that, well, I mean, on the plus side, I have less time to think, but I have a lot more time. I have more money, so the money can do the thinking for me. That's all I need. Oh my god, is chat like off on the side? Hold on. At least if the game's not working, That gives me more time to fix my front end. The problem I have is that I'm too clever for my own good, really, when you think about it, because I keep trying to nest everything. I keep trying to nest every single thing inside of other things, and that seems efficient, but it also means that when I break one thing, I break it everywhere in the entire world. So, you know, it's just, it's just, my storied incompetence has slain us again. Oh, poor echothedolphin.com/en/#mini-game. It is really struggling today, but whatever, you know what I mean? It's free. Back problems, feet problems, head problems, eye problems. Eye problems sounds like a good business for repairing electronic devices at a discount. Oh, decided the way anime idols decide they want to play at Budokan by their third year of high school, that I want my detective noir hololive fic The Gamblers to get popular enough for its own TV tropes page. I bet that sounds very plausible. That's a realistic goal. That is a real goal. Relevant, emergent, accessible, and litigious. I forget how that I forget how the acronym goes. You know the acronym though. It checks out. It checks all the boxes. You know what I mean? You'll have your TV tropes page, which depending on context is either high praise or a direct threat. But in this case, obviously it's praise. For eye problems, some off-market iPhone repair booth at the mall. Yeah, one of those places in a Walmart like that smells like sandwich meat because it used to be a Subway. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you go there, and for some reason, it's the only guy in town who's got the little tools who can get lint out of the plug socket, and he'll do it in 2 seconds. You know? But everything else is kind of sus and sketchy. You know what I'm saying? The famous acronym. Oh wait, realistic, achievable, original, realistic, and achievable. Ra. I see what you did there. Oh no, I was off. I aimed it wrong. Do you miss malls? A little. Yeah. I mean, I have mixed feelings about malls. I miss malls as I remember them as a kid, but I also, one of my terrible jobs, I had so much downtime that I was like hanging around a mall a lot during the day, and I was very bored. So to an extent, the mall has become like a sepulcher of thoughts to me. I had to sit in like the lounge area. Oh my God, it actually loaded. Oh my God. I had to sit in the lounge area with all the TVs on, and the TVs were just like a weird pastiche of current events and like children's programming. Like whatever was on PBS. So it'd be like The Horrors of the World and Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, you know, in a dizzying kaleidoscope of thought injection. You know what I'm saying? It's like PoE injection, but for thoughts in your brain that I would not have had bidden otherwise. But oh, you played Silent Hill 3. Ah, yes, nothing gets me yearning for a trip to the mall like Silent Hill 3. I just like to think about using the bread tongs to get stuff out from under a wood pallet and observing bread and declaring that it is bread. I mean, who hasn't done that? But yeah, the mall near me used to have a great boba place, and then their matcha became sugary. It's an epidemic. Every place that has good matcha, eventually the simple folk of the earth declare it to be unpalatable, and so they just replace it with green sugar at some point. It ruins my life. There's another place. There's a place like several towns away from here. I don't get to stop there very often, but if I'm ever in town, I make a point of stopping there, and they had the best matcha milky tea anywhere in North America. Oh, it was immaculate. And lately though, last couple times I got it, the flavor profile is changing. It's getting kind of saccharine, you know what I'm saying? I'm worried. I think it's starting. I think the fell transformation's beginning, the inexorable transformation. They're sugaring that shit up. We gotta have like a secret menu, you know what I mean? It's got to be like the Achewood Breast Man menu. We got to have like a secret menu for dudes who can hang with matcha flavor, you know? The famous California Westminster Mall looks completely ruined now. It's condemned. That's extremely believable. Yeah, there's like I live someplace where, believe it or not, like back in the day, there was actually enough demand for there to be basically 2 shopping malls almost like literally across the street from each other. And one shopping mall is doing okay because it's mostly clothes stores and coffee shops. And the other is much as you've described. Well, it's actually very Silent Hill-esque. And the only functioning part of it left is a movie theater, but they actually also have a little repair shop. Not even a kiosk, like an actual repair shop. And they're actually the only legit good, like full-blown soldering and capacitor replacing repair shop around. They fixed my PlayStation 4. They recovered it from Raiden's icy grip itself. You know? Shoved a gigabolt in that shit and they repaired it and it works just fine. Maybe we should play Sakura Wars on my PlayStation 4 at some point. But yeah, there's some big ass mall in the Midwest too, like a famous one. Is that still open? The only Midwest thing, I was gonna say the Galloping Ghost, but that's like a famous arcade. Yeah, it's not a mall. It might be in a mall. Oh, I got teleported across the world with all my trash is missing. God. All the malls in Austin are like if Temu had a storefront where everything was expensive. I'm like, yeah, most malls that are extant are basically just, well, Build-A-Bears and Sephora's and anywhere you can try on clothes, and mostly exclusively women's clothes, which is frustrating for me because now that I have a job, I was looking for like decent pants, like black jeans or something, and I cannot find any. It occurred to me as a male, the worst part about being a male VTuber, nowhere to buy clothes. Where am I supposed to get pants? They don't make them. I haven't gone clothes shop. I go clothes shopping like once every, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. But you know, when I go, I gotta go. There's an urgent reason for it, right? I can't just buy all my clothes at the Bass Pro Shop, for God's sake. Like, what am I supposed to do? It's like there's 87 sections that are all like sundresses and bathing suits and like well, suits, but like lady suits, you know, like the one Marge Simpson wore when she was trying to fit in with the upper class people, you know, like pink and like the black borders. I didn't even know that was like a real thing, but I've seen that exact outfit places. All I can find is like camping gear. You know what I'm seeing? You gotta bite the big bullet, big dog. What's the big bullet? Point me at the bullet and I'll chow right down. Get in the sundress. Oh, that's what you mean. Well, I suppose. Do they have like professional sundresses? Dude, it's actually unfair. Women have infinity options for clothes. They come in every possible color. They come in all kinds of styles. And like the things I find are mostly like Air Force shirts, you know what I mean? Like the pale blue short sleeve, like the guy in Falling Down clothes. That's like what most of the like, or that, or like it's like cargo pants and things. You know what I mean? Like that's it. That's all that exists. Do I have to either go like full, you know, do I have to go cargo shorts or get bespoke suits? That's what I miss about Korea, actually. They had really nice, there were tailors all over the place. I went to a tailor and a goddamn cobbler. You understand? The years I lived in Korea, for very reasonable sums of money, I was able to get bespoke shirts and shoes. Those shoes, sadly, I think are no more. I don't know what became of them. A cobbler! I don't mean dessert. I had a man measure my feet and give me the most perfect shoes ever created. And pants and shirt, all the clothes were so fit that you would have to acquit. Like, wait, hold on. If they didn't fit. Okay, I could not have been acquitted. If any of those clothes were found at any kind of if those shoes were found at a crime scene, I'd be done. There's no acquittal there because they fit perfectly. You see what I'm saying? Okay, there we go. I worked it out. everybody in chat is yelling, a cobbler. That should be a Twitch redeem. I like that. I like the, you know, that's a good like breaking the ice at a party story. Just bring the old cobbler reference. Unfortunately, I did not ever find a haberdasher, but honestly, I'm not big on hats anyway. I bet if I did, I bet if I really put my mind to it, I probably could have found a haberdasher, or at least a milliner. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. Point is, when it came to clothes, Korea was basically the Xanadu, you know. I can put OkAs in any clothes you want for a 3.0. Hey man, that I'll take you up on that offer. I got, you know, you're the VTuber tailor and the cobbler, and at need, like an ear piercer and plastic surgeon. So that is also readily available in South Korea. Let's go to Itaewon. Yeah, you're the VTuber. You're the Itaewon of VTubers. What the hell happened to the portal? This trash isn't going anywhere. Sorry, boys. Let's well, you know, yeah. All right. I guess if I hit my sub goals, we can get that sundress variant OkAs. That's fine. Well, that's a good Twitch redeem. Pretty dresses. Yeah. If your stream wants to see you in a pretty dress and dance, you know. Oh, there it is. It changed places. Oh my God, the game's actually like working and spawning and evolving and changing. Ooh, it's actually working. We're on a good. This is propitious. This is a good. We're on a good scene here, boys. Oh, okay. I thought the game broke again. Yeah, you know how it is. Just you know. So let's get, we'll have, I don't think we have to go for pumps. That's a bit much. We don't, you know, it's not even that important. You don't see the feet of a VTuber very often. I mean, unless you have a particular niche, unless you're servicing a specific audience. I don't believe I'm hitting that niche, you know. I might dabble into polyphonic ASMR at some point, but we don't have to, we can leave the footwear out of it. Out of the situation. We'll just, you know, at most a sundress. What kind of sundress do you think would work? Do you think it would like do you think it'd be covered in like paw prints or something? A VTuber group surrounding Tootsie's just opened honestly, I'm surprised it took this long. That sounds like something that would have happened in 2021, right? Yam sighing lugubriously, wheeling over to a very large tome propped up on one of those book stands, taking out a pen, and with a few sharp strokes, making yet another entry in a ever rapidly expanding list. Yam, that illustration you made of the James Sunderland bathroom like expression pose, what you know, the mood, yeah, you know, it's evergreen, you know. It's just there's never a time where it's not really like directly relevant. Sometimes you get that one piece of art that just, you know, it's just has 1,001 uses. I have the one where I look pensive and upset at whatever's happening. You know what? Everyone should have art of them looking pensive and upset. That's what I've noticed. Let's see. It's so good. James Sunderland. James Sunderland. You know, there's a reason he's you know, he's a memorable protagonist / antagonist. You know, really he's every part of the story. So I guess it's a story about narcissism at the core of it. Technically, I mean, when you think about Pyramid Head, you know, James literally is the antagonist of the story. But, you know, you also have the artwork of you making out with Sonic. Oh, well, you know, of course, that's a YCH. But yes, I put it on my schedule. I put it on my schedule for a reason. Yeah, it's especially handy as a Fugi reactive. You know, just always comes up. But hey, man, everybody else gets to be making out with Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't see why I should be, you know. And look, kept it classy. There's no vanilla, you know. general. It's just like it's non-specific. We're just sort of, you know, we're just a vibe. It's just sort of a general vibe, you know. Leaving it open to a semiotic, you know, self-sufficiency. Man, did I clip into the wall or did I find a secret? Ah, dude, the part where you talk to the Pakiseti. That was originally supposed to be a cutscene in the old game, and they had to skip it for time reasons. But now, boy, they've had decades. Time is no longer a problem. In the end, I guess it was thematically appropriate that the game ends on a cliffhanger with an incipient time warp, and we don't know when or where he'll show up again. So it, you know, the game itself has been lost in the tides of time. Makes a lot of sense. You know, it's just like it's you know, it's a perfectly apropos theme. I thought it'll be weird actually if Echo ends up being the only classic game that doesn't come back. They made a new Silent Hill. They brought back Toe Jam. They brought back, well, Invader Zim. That's not exactly a game, but you see what I'm saying. The age of ancient forgotten intellectual property coming back was just like in full swing for a decade straight. Now, if someone can just make a retro revival of Road Rash, that'll be the trifecta. We got our Sonic well, I guess it's a tetrafecta now, because they made Sonic Mania, which I count. They made the new Toe Jam. They made this, and now you know, the last forgotten Genesis classic. You know, the Dreamcast Echo is a very weird example of what happens when a game spends a long time in development hell. So like basically they were making Echo 3 right away, right? It was supposed to come out literally in like 1995. But it kept getting like pushed around because it was going to be Genesis, obviously, but then they briefly moved it to 32X, and then it didn't happen there, obviously, and then it was briefly going to be a Saturn release, and the Saturn release ended up transmogrifying into a Dreamcast release. But this was years later, by which point the entire original crew was no longer working at Sega, specifically the creator Ed Annunziata. So basically, though the project was like, you know, resumed, but they had to put a whole new staff on, and so basically they did a soft reboot, or no, hard ass reboot, a full reboot. It's basically kind of a retelling of the first game, but with major differences. Oh god, that actually felt good until I crashed and destroyed my spine. That little flail I did in midair, that was kind of intuitive. You kind of twist the thumbstick about, and you can kind of, yeah, it's way less herky-jerky than the old games. I'm getting used to this. This is good. This is good. Oh, this is good. It's good. Dude, Sonic Mania 2, I don't want to get greedy, like, you know, because I've already been rewarded just about everything on my wish list, as I've said, but man, of all the Sonic projects, yeah, Sonic Mania 2, just like all original levels, I honestly feel like they barely scratched the surface of reappropriating mechanics. Like there were so many things in that game where I'm like, oh yeah, they could have done this. Why didn't they do this? The fools. I mean, like the big gravity orb things that were just in like a random bonus stage in Sonic 3, and then they used them in the Titanic Monarch level, and I just like that part made me realize, wow, they really had so many cool physics things that somebody spent a lot of time working on, and then they probably had to stick it someplace random because they didn't have time to implement it the way they wanted. Poor guys. They could do that, you know. There's a lot more too, and Mania had so many neat ideas for bosses that interact with the environment in unique ways. They can keep going with that. Just keep expanding. Just keep expanding and expanding. Maybe like a waterfall based boss. And for the love of everything, can we get something specific to Tails? Can Tails specifically have like a unique quest with all his swimming and flying powers, you know? And I'm not saying that incorporating a 16-bit era version of Rouge the Bat into the game would complete my life, but I mean, it would. That'd be fun. Just like a cute little, you know, you can imagine it, right? Like just the retro style, like the pop art style Pop Rouge, you know what I mean? That'd be fun. Just like you can imagine the art style exactly. What would Rouge look like on a 1990s box cover, you know, or in a magazine or something of the sort? You know, even just adding new levels to the one they got would be fun. Yeah, more original levels. The press garden is such a clever idea, and I don't think they've ever done like that Cecilia Immergreen color scheme in a Sonic stage before. It looks so nice. They got to take advantage of like the color palette mixtures that they couldn't do on the old system. That's one of the technological advancements they got to lean into. Not so much just 3D. I thought Sonic Mania was hyper intelligent and hyper aware, exercised restraint in all the right places. You know, it was just they knew exactly what level of technology to aim for. The mini game was like an actually fully realized version of the mini game from Sonic CD, which in its original state is hands down the worst one. But now that they actually have 3D models and things can work in 3D the way they're actually intended to, like now it's beautiful. It's a beautiful baby, a beautiful idea, baby. Yeah, dude. Just put me in, coach. Put me in. Rouge can be in her own game. She get just like put the guys. Just give her kind of a vaguely Yakuza-esque level up battle system. Make it based around her feet. Maybe incorporate the wings, you know, and nothing else. But you know, give her like a little like kind of developable combat system. Send her on missions to like steal gems and blow up robots. That's all I ask. Rouge, I think a Rouge standalone game would advertise itself first of all, and don't even get me started on Crystal. I think Crystal should have a game like the 20-teens Tomb Raider, but better. And without those bad opening like handholdy segments. Just, you know, run around a jungle island, crafting, making weapons and medicine and stuff, and fight robots or whatever. It could be rated T. Yeah, any number of things before GTA 6. I don't think GTA 6 is, you know what I mean? I think it'll be coming out. It's not going to be Echo 3's record of time and development, but you know, they could basically just make a Rouge GTA clone. They could just have Rouge the Bat in Marvel Rivals to market it. How about all that? The Sonic OVA style, exactly. And there was like Keimono Mimi people in that one too. So they bridged the gap. They made it less weird than Elise. I think really the main problem with Elise was just that she's like this waxen mannequin. She's a little bit eerie looking even by human, like a regular human character romancing her would have been a bit off-putting, just because it's like, you know, romancing a like a wax dummy, a wax sculpture, an octopus face, as John Jafari put it. You know what I'm saying? So here's my as long as apparently all my wishes are getting granted long term, since Echo 3 is happening, I think everything is on the table. So here's my idea. Here's my 5-year plan. Here's my cinematic universe. Okay, Rouge standalone game. Okay, Crystal standalone game. Rouge and Crystal at the Olympic Games, and then Rouge and Crystal crossover game. You know, and you know, just make them all good. Just make them, you know, like a crossover, you know, and she's uncanny design, animation, and storytelling. That covers just about all the bases. That's not an uncanny valley. That's the uncanny kingdom valley. That's the uncanny continental shelf. It's not really. Yeah, well, the main problem with their storytelling is that she loops more than Hazama in Blaze Blue. Heyo, that's a reference just for you, Yam. And I tailored that one. That's tailored. You gotta tailor your references. She's the princess of the Uncanny Kingdom. I don't know. Her dad looked okay. I don't know what the hell her problem was. Because she just escapes and gets captured immediately. It's not a good idea if the major events in your story are utterly inconsequential. We haven't played Blaze Blue together. I mean, yeah, we have a list. We have chores. Can you host your own BlazBlue server, or is it like strictly some kind of third-party service? I am working on the Minecraft like cottagecore thing, but I've never done it before. You can invite via Steam? Oh, okay, as long as they have the infrastructure for it. Yeah, that's, yeah, we should. I have at least one BlazBlue game on Steam. Probably the last one, because I know I played the first two way back on Xbox 360, and I think I got Chrono Phantasma on PS3. So I believe, oh wait, Central Fiction I think I had on the Switch, dude. I think I had that on the Switch. I don't think I have any BlazBlues on Steam. I might have Tag Team. Central Fiction, I have distinct memories of playing it portably, so it has to be a Switch title. But I'm sure it can be had on Steam for a reasonable sum. Oh, you can play on Switch. Well, there you go. Well, there you go. It's you know, BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma Fridays. I don't know. There's no way to work that in. I was looking for a day of the week that could alliterate, but really, it's a mouthful. There's just no opportunity there. It's a cascading series of colliding semiotics. You know, you know what? It's the uncanny Lost World slide. It's the giant snake mouth with the river coming out of it that goes down the slide, and it deposits you into a huge antechamber with a mural where you hear a separate music track for exactly half a second before the level ends. And that is Elise's deal. That's her role in Sonic 06. It's, I don't know. Not to, I mean, I know we all know Sonic 06, everything's been said about Sonic 06 that could possibly be said about it. However, it's just aside from how badly they got by the realities of the industry at the time, Sega had a hard time adapting, right? But it's just fucking weird. It's just conceptually, it's just Sonic Adventure with a girl, you know? I don't know what they were going for. Even if they got to finish it, I just don't know what I don't know what they were going for, you know? I do like the time loop concept that like everything gets erased and maybe only Sonic remembers or whatever. But again, they wrote themselves into a corner where they wanted Silver around for the rest of time, and they're like, oops, we wrote him into an apocalypse. He's in the future or something. Let's just warp him back at his birthday. He warps at a birthday party. It's like an early aughts webcomic. It's like Homestuck or something. The continuity they have. And it got even more confusing when they tried to bring it all together in Sonic Frontiers. Styx is part of it now. Is Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog canon too? Are they gonna bring back Blaze and Sonia or whatever, the siblings? You can bring back Jaleel White. Is he alive? That'd be a weird. Oh, that'd be a fun mod pack. They have like little. They have you know. They have Corones. They have Corone and Ugami's you know, set up in Sonic Frontiers. Maybe they could just add a Jaleel White voice pack. He doesn't have to say all the lines. Just like data juice, you know. I'm sure exactly 3 people in the world would be happy about that. But it's, you know, the fact that no one would like it. That's the funny part. See, that's what's funny. It's like we're unleashing this on the world. Like the Werehog in a way, you know? Dude, it's like Chip is like a fun character, and he's never coming back either. It's weird the characters they decide they need to cling on to and the ones they dispense with. Big was originally supposed to be, you know, most of the characters were supposed to be one-offs. Even Big, even Shadow. And you're not going to sit there and tell me that Silver was popular to the point where they had to bring him back, right? I mean, that's just 0% possible. I get that Shadow was popular, and I get that they were trying to get the Latina market in on it, right? But like, I don't know who out there was clamoring for. I'm not a Silver hater. I just hate the game he was introduced in and his story. And it made Blaze confusing. You understand the power of a furry. Oh, I underestimate the power of a furry Bishonen. Is he a Bishonen? Silver's got shooters. I mean, isn't Silver's like he's like a milquetoast anime protagonist. I can see him being the subject of some kind of a harem anime because he's like a goofball. Like, I mean, not him literally, but like that personality that you understand what I mean. Like, just he's like the, you know, walks in on them changing through various contrived reasons and then runs away kind of character. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a love in deep space. He's not smoldering. Blaze does that. He's the opposite. What you call a wet fish. Not to bring it back to Echo again, but you know what I mean. No. Is this the most controversial thing I've said yet? Is this what finally gets me that twit longer? If we were part of the Sonic Decisions team, we would probably continue our faves even if it made no narrative sense. I mean, yeah, I suppose. I mean, if there was no good reason for Rouge, I mean, I can't imagine a world in which there's no good reason to bring Rouge back, but I mean, yeah, okay, all right. I mean, I guess that's part of it. It's kind of a chicken egg problem. My favorites also happen to be the ones that have the most reason to come back. And I like Big. I like his silly little fishing game. I like him coming back as like a little cameo background, you know, homage. I just wouldn't have put him in Sonic Heroes, first of all, you know. Oh, this is his appeal. His, I think you mean Mirai Ryoku. Silver's a moe. I mean, I can. You can wrap him in a blanket and he cries because no one has ever been nice to him. Okay, well, Blaze is nice to him. He has precious friends, but I kind of get what you're saying. He had a rough shake in life. He had a rough upbringing. Maybe. I don't know. Does he remember Iblis? Didn't they fix the future? Or is he just, you know what I mean? Like, what happened? Blaze doesn't seem to care about that stuff because she grew up with koalas now. Is the koalas the alternate version of the future when they fixed it? Is that it? You know what I mean? How are the two possibilities like flame tornado apocalypse or koalas? You know what I'm saying? Like, even Rick and Morty never had a gap that crazy. That episode where they're running through the same room and it's like phones talking to pizza ordering humans. Like, it's, you know, it's like the Sonic universal divergence puts that to shame. Blaze is horrible to him. Blaze does not make sense. She is functionally a different character. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. It's like if they completely redid history and they grew up under radically different circumstances, then it makes sense that they would be different people. So why does Silver seem to still be from evil apocalyptic future? Yeah, it's puzzling. I mean, the real reason is probably just because they thought she was popular and they stuck her in there, but it makes zero sense. They can't decide if she's from a parallel dimension or an alternate timeline. But then again, they had the same problem with young Sonic from Sonic Mania. Sometimes he's from the past and sometimes he's from like just a different dimension or whatever they mean by that. You know what I'm saying? So I guess like 2D Sonic is non-canon. Oh, this game is just this particular mini game does not have a set ending. No, you just clean the trash and it keeps live count. Like, it's actually count, like everybody who plays it all adds up to a common tally. So it's like, you know, they've cleaned up like 8 million tons of trash or whatever. Obviously not really. That would be nice. But, you know, this is just sort of like this is a fun little, it's like a demo basically. It's just a cute little, you know, you get to get a little taste of what the engine is like, I think, you know. And the sound effects usually work too. Also, it's a prototype. We can be kind to it, but it is pretty. I like it. I like this. This is perfect. I think this is like the exact right amount of fidelity to go for. It looks new enough. Like, this will look good on a tablet screen, but it doesn't look so unrecognizable compared to the classic games. You know, personally, I really wonder. I wonder what the I wonder what Tides of Time is going to look like in the remastered style. It's going to be can you imagine the flying Medusa dog? It's actually funny because one of my earliest collabs I ever did back in like 2021, there was this funny little VTuber named Peppery Orca, and she was a tiny orca, and I convinced her to play an Echo game, and you know, like, well, anyway, she graduated not long after that. But it was funny that I was basically I was an Echo coach before I was a Sonic coach. Hey, actually, wait, Yam, I have something. I have a device. I got something for future collabs. I don't know if you've seen this. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we'll be needing that. I'll be needing that quite often, I think. Yeah. So it'll be. You know what? You can get you can get one for Blaze Blue. I played all the Blaze Blues. I'm gonna be honest. The first couple, I primarily concerned myself with the visual novels. I was never more than a mediocre actual combatant. I did beat Boss Hazma on at least 2 occasions, but I mean, that was a hard one, like mental breakdown inducing arc. That's not within my wheelhouse. Something for you to eat while you watch me attempt Labyrinth Zone. Yes. 5 billionth time. Oh yeah, we gotta I forgot we haven't got you to get through Sonic 1 yet. It's nice. Yeah, we got to get you to finish Sonic Adventure 2 so that you can be up on the canon before you watch Sonic X. Then we'll get you to finish Sonic 1. I'll teach you all the tricks, all the tips and tricks. Yeah, Blaze Blue, but I do like the visual novel. There's so many interjections where they take a break from all the crazy time warp, high concept sci-fi rigmarole, and they just go and get dim sum. You know, that's nice. They're on my wavelength, those guys. You know, getting abducted to dim sum by a hideous sewer cat girl. That's basically that's one of the things I wouldn't mind happening if it were possible. I'm sure it would have its downsides in real life. I'd probably get scabies or something, but still, it's a good story. You'd be able to tell that at parties for years, you know? Anytime you start a new job, and like, oh, something about me. This time. But, and all the genre people. Love Bang Shishigami's little, you know, tokusatsu animation on his special moves, even though I can never get them to happen. And Jubei's theme music. Ooh, they all have good theme music. Daisuke Ishiwatari is a compositional masterman. But I like Stand Unrivaled. I love the Izayoi. What is she when she's human? I forget. Yayoi? No, that's not it. But the point is, the redhead who turns into an eyeball thing. She has really nice music. The one with the guitars and the violins. Or violas, I'm not honestly sure because I'm ignorant. Yeah, I mean, you can explain these to me. You can point out the instrumentations when they come up, you know. And I don't have an ear for these things. And of course, the evil goo man, Arakune. Yeah, he's a creative little design. Very classic 90s, very melty blood. It kind of bridges the gap between here and there. I wonder how come have they made another has Arc System Works made like another completely new fighting game IP since then? I know they've done a few new Guilty Gear games. I don't think they've touched Blaze Blue again. Have they done just something else? I honestly haven't kept track. Maybe they have. They could have. Just bring back the crew for another, you know, beautiful 2D art you know, fighting game. I think they did. They did. Might warrant an investigation. Might warrant an immediate investigation, you know? It's important. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy. Maybe I'm thinking of French bread. Is that a game, or are you hungry? Is that just making you are you just getting confused? They have worked other IPs, a Korean MMO and now a DC one. Oh, I meant specifically like a new 2D fight in Vigia, but yeah. Sooner or later, everybody does a Korean MMO or a Korean gacha game or a Korean MMO gacha game. It's like evolution with crabs, you know? It's the way of it. Can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but I remember it was a 2D sprite work and there was a character with they them pronouns who was like a long limb zoner. I mean, I don't know if I'm remembering something, if that sounds familiar to me, or if it just sounds eminently plausible. It sounds like exactly something that could exist. French bread. Oh, Melty Blood. The publisher is called French Bread. I guess I didn't know that. I guess I never really thought of Melty Blood as having a publisher. I always just knew Melty Blood as this thing that existed. You know? Like the sun or the Grand Canyon. You can't tell me that, like, you know, the Marianas Trench doesn't have a publisher. You know what I'm saying? Like this tenebrous chasm in which there are many arcane secrets and undiscovered horrors, right? It's like, you know, this is the same way I think of Melty Blood. When's the last time they made a new Melty Blood? I bet there's one from like a year ago that I never knew about. Under Night in Birth. That's what I'm thinking of. Huh. Under Night in Birth. Sounds like a Kingdom Hearts midquel. Sounds like a DS Kingdom Hearts game. Wait, am I crazy? Did they have a game with like something? I was joking, but maybe there is a title like that. I should tread carefully when trying to tell jokes about Japanese games and their title conventions. You know, it's always distinctly possible that you know, whatever I come up with has been done. It's been done and then some. Man, the trash is spawning faster than I can eliminate it. It's wild. UN 2 is a good fighting game? Man, I didn't even know the first UN was a fighting game. I guess it makes sense, though. It's like the gag in The Simpsons, you know? You wanna be like the real UN, or you just wanna squabble and waste time? And then they started doing Hadoukens. Oh my god, I annihilated him. The poor guy. It just crashed him on that rock. Pow! Ah! This will actually work a lot better on the Vortex Future levels when you have to navigate the sky zone. Ooh, check this out. Oh. It's kind of like the bouncy fungus mini game in Toe Jam and Earl in Panic on Funkatron. Copyright 1994. Do not steal. Ah, well. Oh, check this out. Oh my God. We've been vibing and talking about our favorite video games for hours. But check it, my homies. I'm gonna come over here real quick. It's like hitting the sign in the air in Sonic 3. Oh yeah, that's always fun. Or it's like getting that one ramp jump in Spring Yard Zone in Sonic 1, and getting the top route sign. Ooh, you just feel like you feel like a winner. You feel like you did it. You feel like you achieved something really important, even though deep down you know it wouldn't have made a difference. But I think I better wrap it up for now. I better. Speaking of French bread, I better go to bread, if you catch my drift. Because believe it or not, I'm 2 places in the morning. Don't worry. Eventually, I get to work at more reasonable hours, by which I mean basically the Pacific time zone, and then I'll reclaim the night. I'll reclaim it as my rightful sovereignty, and I'll even get to work remotely at some point too. That'll be neat. I'll be able to work from exotic locales. Oh, hold on. I don't know why this wasn't here the whole time. At least I fixed it. Better late than never, eh? It was a fun vibe. I'm surprised how well the garbage collection game worked out for us. Yeah. I'm fresh back from the vacation arc. Freshened up with unrestrained neuron activities. I fear a time warp may happen. We're gonna see some sartorial advancements in the near future, I suspect. Perspicacious commentary on the state of the VTuber industry, and perchance perchance will now that I have an actual steady schedule, it will be easier than ever to have you just play all the Sonic, all the time. Sonic and Blaze Blue. That's a lot of blue. That's 2 kinds of Blaze Blue. That's 2. I don't. Sorry, I know you're a family friendly stream, but we keep making you go blue. Well, with that, I'm gonna go. Okay.